Hello and welcome to Sobricks. I'm Adam and this is Sobricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video for the wonderful Halloween season and for the actual day, I am going to be taking a look at the Lego Hidden Side, let's see here, Ghost Train Express set. This is set number 70424. It has 698 pieces, and I paid $70 for this set. This is retired, like all of the other Hidden Side sets. It's been a while since I've looked at a Hidden Side set. I really enjoyed them when I was going through them. There's still a couple Hidden Side sets that I don't own. I own a majority of them. And several of them I was making videos for, but I ended up not ever putting out. So those may come out in the future. That's for I think the Monster High School or whatever. And I think there's a few other ones that I can't even remember now. But there's some other ones that I looked at that I didn't make videos for yet. But this is one I really wanted to look at. I think the other one was maybe the subway station, which might have played into this one. There's the haunted fairground and a few other bigger ones as well, and I don't have those, but maybe I'll get a hold of them in the future. This is one I was really excited to take a look at, and I thought it was sort of fitting for the season, so I decided to save this to release this on Halloween Day on the 31st of October this year. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Hidden Side Ghost Train Express set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching and then say happy Halloween. I wanted to have this video come out on Halloween the day. This is a Halloween adjacent set. I love horror stuff and paranormal stuff and spooky stuff, and Hidden Side's one of the rare Lego themes or Lego sets that incorporates some of that. So I'm very excited about this, and I also wanted to say if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. Subscriptions help me a lot. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. If you want to support the channel, there's the Patreon, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link, there's other links in the description. You can also do it here on YouTube. That's for giving money to the channel, helps a lot. And then I wanted to talk about the build. So we start out here building this kind of train station platform. It's pretty simple, nothing revolutionary here. There's a couple stickers used. There is a good amount of space. This is pretty small compared to other parts of the set, and definitely compared to if they just built a train station without some of the other stuff that is included in here. And it comes together relatively quick, but it is only really a small portion of the build. And now we can start working on the actual train. So we also have some train track pieces. It comes with 4 straight pieces and a ramp, and then we can build up a little stopper or bumper thing for the end there, and then we use this kind of starter brick to build the locomotive train car. So there is going to be some of the Hidden Side elements visible here, so it's a little bit of a spoiler, but they work in a really cool way, and they also managed to design this in such a way that it's still really detailed and looks really good for a kind of basic functional locomotive. And I'm just noticing we saw my hair a little bit there in the video, which I don't know if it has been seen before, but that's okay. Here you can see we're building up some of the functionality for this hidden kind of thing here, and then we can build out the rest of the roof. After this, we build the front of the train car. I don't know if it's the cabin or the cab or where the driver might be, and I also don't know if the person that drives a train is a conductor or an engineer, or if they both do but they do different things, or what exactly. But we kind of work for that front area of the locomotive, and there's some other hidden little features in here which we'll go into greater depth in the full review. A couple more stickers, and then we kind of build this area out with the doors and some of the internal details, and then we make a kind of roof sub-assembly that will allow access for minifigures in the front, and then we can add the train car wheels. These are some other pieces that I'm not super familiar with because I'm so unexposed to Lego trains in a real way. So this was new to me, but also very cool. I'm working on the second train car. It's kind of a flat train car. It's pretty basic, and then we build some cool stuff that's hidden side specific to put on top of it. So this one's kind of JB's lab mobile containment chamber experiment type thing, which is pretty nice, as JB's kind of colors there. That's one of the characters in the set. And then working on the last train car, again, we start with a very similar base kind of flatbed car here, but it does have one of the magnetic coupling things at the rear instead of the ball joint, which the rest of this uses. And then we build up this kind of shipping container like car for the end, and we add some accoutrement to the top of this. And once we get that together, I'll kind of get all of the elements back together. And now onto my review for this set. Okay, so here we have the Lego Hidden Side Ghost Train Express. This is awesome. It's great to get back to some hidden side. This is a theme that I've grown really fond of. It is in line with some of my interests. I like spooky stuff, ghost stuff, paranormal stuff, horror adjacent things, and this is maybe one of the clearer examples of that, and as far as Lego themes goes. So I really have appreciated looking at all of these, and this one's pretty darn cool. There's a lot to look at here, so we'll get right into it, and hopefully the video won't be 45 minutes long, but no promises. So the first thing we will take a look at is the minifigures, because we do get some. Now, if you've seen my other videos about other hidden side sets, some of these are very similar or the same as other ones. So the first one we have here is Jack. This is one of the characters in Newberry. I think they're maybe one of the ones that kind of hunts ghosts, so to speak here. They have the kind of phone or smart device printed tile there. I've gotten this version of this figure a bunch of different times. So up at the top we have the dual molded hood and hat piece, and then it does have printing on there. So it's white and red plus printing. So you can see that. Looking at the face underneath, we do have maybe some scar or something on the right. We do have an alternate face which has Jack looking a lot more stern. Torso is same as other ones, kind of has a Letterman jacket or something like that. The pockets are lined here. I think this is supposed to indicate a white sweatshirt underneath the jacket. The buttons are kind of open, and this is not white because it's painted on red. It looks very pink and dull, almost gray, compared to the stark white of the molded plastic for the hood piece. So I would have liked to see that done a little bit differently, a little bit better. That would have been really nice, but the printing here is good. Back of the torso doesn't have a ton going on. Looking at or continuing down, we do have printing on the midsection, very subtle. There's just a stripe on there. We also have printing on the legs, so we have the pockets have some detail and some stuff hanging from the pockets. Nothing on the arms for this character, but that is okay. Like I said, I have a bunch of these Jack figures. They've come in a lot of the hidden side sets, so they're one of maybe the main characters. The other one, it's another one that there's a couple different versions. I have several of each. This one is Parker. So again, we have a smart device printed tile there, and yeah, this is another one of the main kind of ghost response team, I think, for Hidden Side, or one of the investigators, or one of the Newberry residents who's often encountering some of these things. They have a dual molded headpiece for the hat as well as the hair. Hair is a really nice color, so that's great. Face is good. Alternate face, again, maybe more inquisitive. more stern looking, so good to get the alternate face. I'll leave this off just so we can see. Super detailed torso here, kind of looks like denim, so like denim jacket, maybe denim jeans or pants or something. They have like a little necklace and different pins and patches on there, which is really cool. We do have printing on the midsection and printing on the legs again where the pockets are, and this one has maybe some wear and tear on the pant legs, which is very nice. Again, no printing on the arms, and then the back of the torso does have some more detail here with the stars up at the top and the different kind of patches and pins and different things on the back of this, as well as some kind of detail about how the fit of the jacket is sitting. So we do see the undershirt a little bit there. So those are some very main characters. Another character, the next one we are going to look at, I've gotten in maybe one or two other sets, and this is JB. They are a scientist, I think, and maybe inventor, developing things to interact with the hauntings and whatever else. Another really, really good one here. Super awesome color for the hairpiece, and it's also dual molded and then printed for the goggles there. So that's very nice to see. Face is very good. We do have an alternate face, which looks like they have some splotches, maybe a potion or an experiment kind of blew up in their face there. So they have that. They also have a printed tile as a smart device. Torso here, really, really good. Kind of has like a lab coat looking thing. Underneath there's a shirt, kind of looks like a Frankenstein's monster sort of thing there to me. And then in the lab coat we have like the lapels, different pins, buttons. We got like a cross strap kind of belt here with the buckle, as well as like a USB drive and stuff. There's a pocket with a pen. And then continuing down, we do have printing on the midsection, and then we have printing on the legs with kind of the bottom of the lab coat, as well as an ID badge on this leg. Nothing on the arms. Back of the torso has some other details here on the kind of strap or belt they have with some little like vials, and I don't know if this is supposed to be a screwdriver or a fork or what that's supposed to be, but that's really good there. I think this character is in fewer sets than Jack or Parker, but I know there is a set that's like JB's Ghost Lab, and I also think there's like JB's Submarine, so you would get them in those sets. The next one is a Newberry. Newberry's the town where Hidden Side takes place, and this is just a Newberry resident. They do come in more than one set, so I believe I have this figure, and it's pretty cool here. The hairpiece is pretty basic, but I love this face printing. So they do have the glasses out there, and then the face is looking real worried and scared and surprised. Something about the mouth kind of reminds me of a Muppet almost, but if I pop the hair off, we can see the eyebrows are raised there. Do have an alternate face, which is just them looking calm and cheery and serene and at ease here. So, but they do have the glasses printed on there. I think that's a really good face, really good minifigure head here, and not the kind of thing I see a ton. So I think the glasses are really, really nice. Torso is good, has like a t-shirt with a banana on it, which is fine. Then kind of has this nice plaid with actually some really good details in here for like a button up there. Nothing on the midsection, nothing on the legs, nothing on the arms. Back of the torso just has that kind of plaid thing here, and not really accessories for Paul either, but that's okay. And then we get a couple other characters here. We get like the train conductor perhaps, or the engineer, or whatever, and this character's name is Chuck. I think this one's exclusive to this, and this is really, really cool. So they do have kind of a engineer's cap, or something like the conductor's cap up there. We do have the glasses printed on, as well as kind of some facial hair. No alternate face, no alternate hair piece, because maybe they are don't have hair or shave it or whatever, and they wear a cap, so we would see the alternate face there. I love this torso. They have kind of a vest type thing here, and then the like kind of light blue shirt underneath. They have a tie that has some little details in it that are very, very small. And then we have this kind of pinstripe vest here. It has a pin up top, kind of maybe not like a lapel thing, but like something up there that is a reference to some other stuff in the set. They have like an ID card, necklace, lanyard coming down. They have what looks to me to be like a, like a ticket punch or a ticket and something else kind of over in the pocket, other pockets here. Really, really nice there. I love the contrast of the colors here. I think this is really well produced as well. Nothing on the midsection, nothing on the legs. Back of the torso does have a buckle for the vest, as well as the pinstripes there and a little bit of where like the sleeves would go in. So really nice detail for this character. And they also have a hidden side ification, which is common for different characters in the hidden side things. If a Newberry resident gets, I don't know if possessed is the right word, but if they're ghostly or whatever, then they do this different thing with the translucent minifigure head here, printing on there for kind of this like ectoplasmic kind of splatter look. The back isn't an alternate face, but it does have printing there. And then we use these like pale yellow kind of accessories. So in this case, they have a beard that is very kind of that pale yellow kind of spooky ectoplasm type thing. So we get that as well. And that is very good. Those are that face is relatively common in hidden side sets. I think there's a finite amount of different faces for these kind of characters, and I think there's maybe only like 2 or 3 or 4, unless they're very specific for a very specific character. Otherwise, it feels to me like they get reused somewhat regularly, but that's not a problem. And then the next one we have here, and the last one we have, is Ms. Santos. So this one is another train employee person, and this is really great. So they do have a lantern, and if you'll notice, the lantern is kind of the same kind of color scheme as maybe the hidden side or possessed type things are. But they have this really nice hairpiece. It is like maybe a Hermione or something hairpiece in the dark brown, but really nice here. The face isn't actually anything like specific to this, no alternate face, but then underneath that, and the hair kind of covers this up, they are wearing kind of a pantsuit type thing. Up on the lapels, they do have these pins that are like little arrows, kind of like railway type of things, and it's a similar pin that Chuck had. So the one kind of up here in the corner is the same as the two on either lapel, which is a nice touch. They have kind of an ascot. You can see their shirt underneath there, as well as some different layers of clothing, which is terrific. They also have a lanyard with an ID badge in there. We get some definition for kind of the hips and the waist as well, and maybe a kind of we just see like they presumably have a similar vest to Chuck underneath their like coat, their suit coat there, or suit jacket, and so we see a little bit of the pinstripe coming through either side. So those are really small details, really nice touches. Nothing on the midsection, nothing on the legs, nothing on the arms. Back of the torso, very straightforward, but it does have some like cinching in here for the definition of their waist or their hips, as well as some kind of folds in the back. And this character too has a hidden side kind of possessed version. So I'll pop that on, and I'll get the lantern back here. So again, we have the translucent minifigure head with a kind of spooky ghostly face on there, and I am trying to get the hairpiece off without taking the head off, but it seems like because I put this in there, I might not be able to. So it does have some printing on the back. It's very similar to the other one. The face is slightly different. I think the big tell is, the eyebrows and the mouth are different shapes and have some different details there. So that's why. But the back is very similar to this. And just because I can't get this out, you can kind of see it if you look through here at the back. It's probably impossible to see on camera, but there is printing at the back of the head, just not an alternate face. And then we have a really nice hairpiece with, again, that pale yellow kind of ectoplasm look. And then when they have the lantern there, it all kind of fits in thematically. And those are all the minifigures. So you get 6 minifigures, and I think maybe 2 of them are exclusive to this, and the other ones are not. Interesting, there's no ghost dog, and I can't remember what the ghost dog's name was. If it was Skip, if it was Spot, if it was something. That's one that it was in almost every Hidden Side set, I feel like, and is not in this one. I have a bunch of them at this point, but that's one kind of exclusion here. And then there would be some other kind of entities and things that could be seen if interacting with the kind of augmented reality app. The app is no longer available, no longer in service, so I don't have access to those kinds of things. So having looked at the minifigures, we can take a look at the set, the actual building here. And I'm going to go through this in some separate parts, but just overall, what we can see in this top-down view is we have essentially a small little train station here. And we have a locomotive train kind of engine, and we have a couple kind of open cars at the rear. That means that this does have, and it does include, some some Lego train track elements, which is nice. You actually get 4 of them in here for the standard kind of Lego track configuration. I don't remember if I've ever really put these together, so they connect in an interesting way. It probably, for people who are familiar with Lego trains, that's not anything new. It's maybe been the same for a long time. I thought it was interesting to see, because for the most part, like the trains come together kind of in the center here, where they have these, like, there's like a circle here and the opposite side there, and they kind of just mesh in, and it would be the same if we went this way. And so you can kind of clip those together. It's a very strong connection, actually, and then we don't have to like stud any of the things down, on either side or in between to keep them connected. I'm sure people still do that once in a while, but that's sort of there. And then we have this piece. I don't know how common this piece is. I think a lot of Lego trains have like a full, like, closed circuit, so to speak. So they run in like an oval or a circle essentially, and probably have more track, which does drive up the price because these are expensive pieces. And they have like an infinite track essentially, so that you can complete like a full rotation. This one does not have that, but what it does have is this sort of ramp here, which connects just like anything else to, or just like any other track piece, to the other track, but then it tapers down and is a ramp with some rails here down to like the floor level or table level or something. So it would be easy enough to drive the train up that and drive the train off of that. So I'm just going to kind of move this a little bit, and we can see we're kind of here, and pretty easily we can get this on the rails again, and we could always back it out and then take it off of the track and play with it in that way. So even though it doesn't have a full kind of loop or anything, it doesn't feel like it's just a strip of track where we need anything extra to make it like worthwhile. It actually feels kind of nice. It feels like it's easy-ish to play with as is out of the box, without having to add a bunch more track pieces, the curved track pieces and all that other stuff that would go into that, which would drive the price up and just make the set even more unwieldy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these things kind of apart a little bit and move them to the side, and I'll get into the rest of what's going on here on the track side. So there's a couple of these tiles here which help you locate where you want kind of the station to be, but those could be taken off or removed. Also at the end here we do have like this stopper, which is a nice build. It's very simple, but I think it looks pretty accurate. Colors are nice, the gold accents are nice. It kind of has these like little bumper things with these discs, and it also has the ball joint piece here, kind of the mixel joint, which allows the locomotive, like the front engine car, attached to that, so it doesn't like slide around super easily, which is really, really nice. This one does not use the like magnetic couplings or whatever they're called that a lot of Lego trains use. It does have one, I believe, but I'll show that when we get there. So this is just all the track that you get. And the first thing that you build is essentially this Newberry Station. So we can take a look at this. We do have stickers in this set. There's 2 sheets. One of them is clear backed and one of them is not. I'll kind of point the stickers out as I go, but this is intended to be like a train platform, sort of. So, and I think it works really well for that. It's not a ton of area. It's not super, super big, but there is room here and there is some nice kind of touches. Thinking about stickers right out of the gate here on the recycling bin, that is a sticker. We have a sticker on the window here indicating kind of a crack. We have 2 stickers on the door, again with some cracks, some wear and tear, and another one over on this window. We also have the sticker up here, which has that kind of arrow emblem that is the pin that the characters are wearing, and it also is present in other parts of the set. Up here it says Newberry Station. Then we have a couple other stickers up here, which are just kind of, to me, seem to be like detail pieces. There's also a sticker at the back, which is for like the pass or the ticket kind of box machine, which is a very small build, not too many pieces, but pretty economical. I've been on a lot of trains and subways and stuff somewhat recently when I was in Europe. I travel by train a lot, and this felt true to me, even though this came out, some years ago. And then we have the rest of this. So it is a raised platform. The bottom of it, you can see these 2x8s here connected with some bricks. I think this is pretty common for Lego train stuff. There's not like, it's not solid all the way through to get structure, but it is like structurally sound. So we build that out, and then we put the platform up here, and this is 8 studs deep, kind of 16 studs wide here, and then we do have a little bit of extra at the back. That is an extra 2 studs, so there's like 5 open studs up at the front, essentially in depth, a little more by the door and everything, and then at the back we have 3 rows of studs for space back there, which is pretty nice. In terms of the design, I thought this was a really great staircase. There's a lot of different ways to make Lego stairs, and I really like this. It's super basic. It uses this ladder piece underneath here. Then we just use a 1x2 with the clip and a 1x4 tile, and you can kind of get that down and angle those in a way, and if you actually push them all down, it does work out to be essentially level here, and these stairs appear to be level as well, which is really nice. You could of course change the orientation of those to suit whoever's needs and whatever else there. So that is very cool, and I thought that was an effective little build. Like I said, we do get this little build for a recycling can there, which is nice. Just a couple pieces. It does use the like box piece underneath there, but it just has the one sticker on the side. We have a couple seats here. Color really pops here, but also feels true to this kind of environment to me. So a couple Lego seats there. And then there's all this area of the platform where passengers could wait ghosts could haunt, and some other stuff there. Of course, we can open up the doors and the windows as well, which is nice. I kind of like these arches. It's a super simple technique. I think the effect is really nice. And then we do use these ramp pieces, or these pieces that are used for sometimes like plaques in, like, that you would apply a sticker to in like a UCS set, or a set that has like a, an info plaque here. They've used this piece a lot for that. We have that there as well. Some other details: we have a clock over here. This is a printed tile. You can theoretically, spin the clock around. The hands are kind of all at, like, I don't know, a 60-degree angle or something there, but you can kind of try to make that whatever time you want it to represent. Over here we have like a lantern or a light, and then we have the thing up there. There's not a ton of detail at the back, just kind of where characters could stand, and then the ticketing thing. But like other hidden side stuff, it does have some transformation. It's pretty common for there to be some, well, a hidden side of some of the elements in Newberry and in this line of sets. This is no different. So sometimes it's a vehicle, it's a building, it's a bunch of different stuff that like has a transformative kind of process that reimagines what it would be. So in this case, you maybe already saw it from looking at the back. We can flip open that, and we can flip up these two. So we have that same kind of pale yellow. And now I think this is actually really, really effective. So these to me look like hands. And then I'm assuming, these are like scratches or claw marks or something on there, which is super cool when it comes into, when it gets all the way here. We could see some teeth in that kind of pale yellow, as well as the eyes, and the eyes are done really, really nicely. It's all like brick built, just with those kind of rounded tiles, and then using these angled plates there really gives a nice angle, aggressive looking angle to the eyes and the eyebrows, which is very, very cool. So I think this is actually really effective. It's super simple. Essentially, the mechanism to do it is all just like just built in here super normally. So we have some clips. They are attached to this Technic brick that goes across, but just where the like clock is, these hands are kind of all connected in there. So you just kind of spin that up, and that's very nice. And then same for the other one over here. So you just have those hands kind of tucked in there, and depending on how you're looking at this, these are visible. If you're playing with the back, those are visible, but it's hidden okay, especially from the front. It's hidden pretty darn well, but there are other details back here that may be important. And then the top one, you can see we have some Technic kind of built up to connect it, and it's super easy. This just flips like that, just using basic Technic pins, and then we flip this through to reveal the face. So it's not turning a bunch. And again, looking at the back, this one from the top, you can see the teeth kind of hanging out, but I did like that we use these inverted slopes here. It does kind of give the game away a little bit, that you can kind of see the face and know what's about to happen, but I think that's all pretty good. And then this just connects to the track, with these slopes, and this one here, you can stud that down to the outside of the track, and that's kind of the Newberry Station train platform here. So with that out of the way, I'm going to kind of go through the train cars in order, hopefully. So the first one that you build is the Locomotive. This is awesome. It's my favorite part of the build, and it's really, really cool. Now, like I said, I don't have a ton of experience with Lego trains, actually. I've built various ones, but not like any ones I don't think that are using the track system. And what that means is I'm also not familiar with like these pieces that the train car wheel assemblies are. Those are a relatively big piece. They do have that like kind of extra molding detail in there, and I can kind of show what those look like. And then also the kind of big plate kind of starter brick piece for the train. I think that's kind of a piece specifically for like train builds, but it does utilize that as well. And then upon that, we build out this actually pretty nicely detailed, nice looking Ghost Train Express or Newberry train. So I'll point out the stickers again. Some of them are, you know, duplicates or whatever. So sticker here, and sticker here. Pretty much the same on the other side. A couple stickers. This emblem is the same as the one on the Newberry Station sign and the ones on the Chuck and Ms. Santos's minifigure prints. So that's very cool. And then we also have 30877, which I thought maybe that is like, you know, sometimes they would do a sticker like this or a detail and they might put the set numbers on there. I don't know if this is supposed to be like spelling anything or anything like that. It could be. I'm not 100% sure, but we have the 30877 kind of on the door here. There's another one on the other side. A couple other stickers here. I really liked these. These are on the windshield here, and they have like maybe gunk on the windshield from bugs or anything else, and also some like cracks and splatter, but then they have this patterning to them that essentially looks like they're being cleared away or have been cleared by the windshield wipers. So they have kind of this swoop going around here, and I think that's really nicely done. I'll try to pop that off so we can get a better view of it there. Building this up is pretty straightforward. You start kind of with the back. I don't know, I'm not super familiar with the different parts of trains, frankly, so I may speak incorrectly about some of this stuff just because I don't know what they are. If this is the locomotive or whatever, I don't know if there's a difference between like where it's driven from between right here, or if like there's the engine, or if there's, you know, conceivably they could be like, I don't know, shoveling coal in here, but I doubt that. But, you know, it's got, or maybe it's cargo or seating or something else here. So we do have like the car back there. We use some panels on the back built up with some bricks. We do have some use of some flexible tubing in here that just gets clipped on for some detail. We build that up. We build up the roof up top, which the roof is actually kind of interesting. It does use some like slope pieces, including some long ones, these like 1x4 sloped bricks, as well as the 1x3. I think the color choices, the kind of dark reddish brown looking pieces with the black and then the little spots of gold is really nice. So we do have that throughout. And then looking kind of up at the front, I think this is really cool too. We have, I think these are supposed to be, I don't know if like bumpers or something like that, but maybe like little stairs, like tiny stairs, and maybe there's supposed to be kind of walkways here. We use these kind of like railing pieces around the side there for all three things. We do have some like headlights up here with the trans yellow, which is really nice. A couple of the hilts in the gold, like lightsaber hilts in the gold. I don't know if those are supposed to be like a horn or something like that, but that is a really nice like gold accent there. And then we do have like doors and stuff, so we can see in here. There is space for a minifigure to occupy that area. We can pop off the roof sub-assembly. It just studs onto these two right here, and we do have some prints in here. So that 1x4 is printed. There's a 1x1 printed kind of right there. You can maybe see it from the side better, and we can open up the doors, and then we also have a lever here. Interesting to me, these doors like do not stud down super well. They almost seem like, because they don't want a ton of friction, because it's going to be like, you know, wanting to be open and closed, they don't like stud down and are self-supporting, at least in my experience. It wasn't until we got like these tiles up top that they really felt like they were securely in there. We do have nice window pieces that are put in. Again, I'm pretty much unfamiliar with these kind of doors, haven't encountered them too often, and if we want, we may be able to kind of pop off the top a little bit here, and I can try to show these. Yeah, see, the door fell out there, but I'm trying to show the kind of windshield wiper marks on this, which I think is a really nice kind of part of it. I think, you know, I don't love stickers, but that's a cute and effective and like very on brand, on theme, kind of minor detail that could easily be missed. So it does feel like there's attention to detail here, because they probably didn't need to put stickers on there, but I think that's actually really cool. And like the train station, I just kind of gave it away. This train as well has some transformation hidden side elements here. But before I get to that, I just wanted to talk about these sub-assemblies. So instead of the magnetic stuff, we use these ball joint type things. Again, I'm spoiling some of the stuff here. So these can rotate a little bit. The kind of special starter brick for the train things, it's not like flush with the bottom, so these actually have a limited amount of space they can rotate, and they just use actually kind of a piece that I don't see too often, but again, maybe very, very common in Lego trains, is this big like 6x4 tile panel with the kind of Technic pin coming up, but it's not like a full size. I guess it's potentially just a half, or maybe even less. I don't know. It's close to a full or a half pin or something like that. So these make up the bottom here. These sections are their own kind of piece, so you can see they're connected on the bottom. You do put the wheels in all together, but this and this are its own piece, and then we fill in the gaps a little bit with some bracket use there. So that's very nice. Those are done pretty much the same throughout the whole set for all the different cars, and then we put it into the kind of Technic pinhole on the bottom there, and that allows it to like be able to make turns if necessary, and kind of operate like a train does. They do have the black and kind of gold accents on here, which is nice. And then, like I said, there is the hidden side elements to this, and I have already kind of spoiled them. So one of them is up at the front. So if you see on this side, we have this little Technic piece over here that we don't have over on this side. We just have the hole there, and that is so we can open this up. And when we do that, we reveal a kind of mouth in there. So we have rows of teeth kind of going around. Again, that kind of pale yellow ectoplasmic look. There's kind of the like a tongue, like with some red going on in there. And then what essentially amounts to eyes being kind of these headlights. Super fluid thing here. It just opens right up. Super easy mechanism, and it feels like it's pretty well concealed. This doesn't feel like out of place just because we have some of the other like light bluish gray there and stuff like that. This isn't something I immediately would have clocked as an actuator or like a lever or some part of some functionality here. So I think that's really good. And then they packed some good detail in here, and the building is kind of nice to make sure we have the space for this to fold down into. And it's not so simple because it actually like folds up but also goes back. So you can see it has to come forward a little bit first, and then it can move up. And same when we come back, we can get down, but then it needs to go back a little ways too. So that's kind of a, you know, it's sort of multi-directional in some way, and I think that works really, really nicely to get kind of that spooky kind of gaping maw mouth thing. I think it could also be said that the windscreen are maybe the eyes or something like that. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it has a clear sort of way that's supposed to or it's supposed to represent, but I like that functionality a lot. And then the rest, I've kind of been neglecting the whole like cargo or train car back here, because while it is nicely detailed from the outside, there is a function that takes up the majority of the space. So there's not seating in here, there's not internal details in here, and the mechanism to operate this is up here. Again, it's a really simple mechanism, super cool, works pretty much flawlessly in my opinion. You can kind of see some indication of that with these like sloped pieces, but maybe this is a exhaust, smokestack, whatever. This again doesn't necessarily automatically look like a lever or some thing that works with some function here, but if we flip that forward, what we get are these bigger wing pieces that are in that same kind of pale yellow, and we can see what we have inside here. So we have some different stuff. We can open these up, not super far, but these panels that are like a whole sub-assembly are attached with Technic pins on either side. When the wings are in, they fold down really, really nicely, and they can fold down like on their own. In fact, if you flip this open and then flip it back, they just fall right into place with gravity, and it's a very satisfying sound bringing them back because everything kind of collapse in there. So this can kind of be set up something like that, and it's almost like a ghost train dragon type thing now, a possessed vehicle sort of. If we were going to look inside, I'm actually not sure if there's a super easy way to get access here. It's essentially empty because it needs room for these things to kind of come into like to fold into each other. I would like to be able to show the mechanism, so I'll just pop off some pieces here, and it's not super easy to take these apart, but it's also not terribly complicated either. So we can see what the inside is made up of in here. I'm actually not sure what this is supposed to be here, but that's fine. And so we have the wings. They're attached to some Technic pieces down in there that then attach to some ball joints. This is a Technic brick that's like a 4x4 with holes on either sides. Those go into some Technic brick pieces, and then we do tile those out to kind of conceal that, which is really nice. So you don't see like any of the blue or weird colors in here. You basically only see the colors that are intended and that are on theme and match. And then we use these kind of like, I don't know what these are called, but these like struts that go from like ball joint to ball joint to kind of move the wings. The wings do overlap each other a little bit in there, but they fit really, really nicely. Oh, maybe this is to just separate them so they have like a defined closed and open state. And I could see that being the case. So when you push this forward, it moves the struts there, the other side of them, backwards, and then that pulls the wings, and the part that it's connected to, it pulls that backwards, which allows the wing to kind of fold out there. So very, very simple. No rubber bands or anything used in here. So it's just with actuating, this kind of lever. It works really, really smoothly, really nice. Like I said, satisfying sound to it. And it all tucks in there very effortlessly, which is really cool. I don't really consider that a waste of space at all. I think this is quite good, actually. So that is very cool. It's not really totally intended for these pieces to just be popped off, but it's not super difficult either. We do have some tiles in here to maybe make that a little bit easier, so we can get this kind of all situated back up. And that's kind of everything in the Locomotive here. We do have the, again, these are using the ball joint kind of things instead of the magnetic things. So that's what we have at the rear here. And then moving on to the next car. So then we have, it's kind of like a flatbed, or I don't know what they were called in train things, but like a flat car that things could be on. So this is pretty cool. It does work kind of the same. Doesn't have like a starter brick necessarily. It just uses a 6 by, what is that, 10, 12? it's a 6x12 plate. There's also a 6x10 in here. Use these same kind of rails on the front and the back. The wheels are essentially the same. We do have the kind of coupling or the joiners here using the ball joints on either side. There's a nice gold throughout either side, and then what we have on this car is essentially like JB's mobile lab. It sort of seems to have a like a containment chamber kind of thing, where one of the ghost characters could be, you know, put inside. So that's pretty cool. And we can open this up, so you can see we do use some hinge pieces there. So this does open up on one side, other side studded down. We have the vented kind of piece here and some studs there, so a figure theoretically could be put in there. And I know this character is not in their hidden side form right now, but we can have them in there to be examined by JB, or to run some tests, or try to de-ghostify them, or something like that. There are more stickers on this car. I think I covered all these stickers on the main one, but just looking at it, we can see over here some dials, some knobs kind of things. So a sticker right on there. I don't love putting like a rectangular sticker on this 2x4 or 2x2 rather slope here just on one side, but you know, not terrible. I maybe even would have preferred it if it just covered the whole thing, but I might be in the minority there. And then this one up here is kind of the same thing. It's a different sticker, and then we have the wheel there as well. The colors here are kind of that azure color, as well as like gray and white, which it feels very much similar to JB and the JB minifigure and other JB materials that are in some of the other hidden side sets. We do have some screens here. These two are stickers. These also are similar to like any paranormal Interceptor bus set, which is one of the earlier hidden side sets I looked at. There's some similar stuff to this. So like on this one, there's a sticker. It's kind of a monitor. There's like a little ghost thing, almost looks like a Pac-Man ghost. Then over here we have an alarm. There's a spot for a minifigure to sit there. And then we have something that's also very characteristic of hidden side sets, which is this color wheel. So this is something that when using the app, the augmented reality app, you could like point it at this, and depending on what color is showing, different things might happen in the app, in the game, in the kind of augmented reality there. So this isn't I don't know if it's in every hidden side set. There's some of the smaller ones that were like gift with purchases, or smaller like cheaper sets where maybe they don't appear, but in a lot of these sets this is part of kind of the play, the kind of the digital and physical kind of augmented reality kind of plus gamified things that they were doing, and this is important to there. I think this one's actually concealed relatively nicely. It doesn't feel like it's kind of out on its own. There are some other hidden side sets where it feels like it is a little more out there in my face and kind of obvious. This one's, you know, still recognizable if you're familiar with the theme, but not terrible. And then, yeah, of course, we can have a minifigure sit here. Also, this whole mobile lab is kind of its own little module, so it could be taken off the train car, and what you're left is just this flat train car. Really nice kind of gold accents throughout here, but it only studs down on these jumpers there, so it's super easy to pop on and off. People could easily make their own mocks of different kind of things that could fit on here, or any different kind of things that the train might be hauling or delivering or whatever else. So this is really stripped down, but effective. It works really nice, and when we add that back in there, it's pretty seamless and looks pretty cool. So that is the second kind of car. And then the last one we have here is this one. This is the third car. Now this one's pretty interesting as well. The base is very much the same. Actually, the base is so much the same that this also operates as a kind of module there with the gold and just those jumper plates to make it easy to take off and, you know, put back on. Here, you know, for this one and for the other one, like these wheel assemblies don't rotate at all, so we don't have that functionality, but everything else here is pretty much the same. And then at the rear here, this is a special piece, which I believe is one of the magnet coupling pieces here. So this swivels back and forth. These are essentially just affixed on there. They feel similar to the part that was like the bumpers on the end of the track, but they are different. You know, these are just like brick built here, and these are molded into this piece. And then I believe there is a magnet in here, and that allows some train stuff. Yeah, it's pretty light, but it's there. There's a magnet in there, which is how they do coupling for certain train cars. You know, it's to me, well, maybe depending if I had the other piece that would connect to it, maybe it works really, really well. I'm not sure if they've continued to do this or they've kind of abandoned this kind of system. I'm not sure, but this one does come with one of those, so that's kind of interesting. And then besides just the basic train car area there, we have this whole kind of cargo, almost looks like a shipping container, the way that we use these bigger panel pieces with the kind of indent on the outside. There are stickers on there, so we get these kind of ectoplasm splatters or like leaks or cracks where maybe goo is leaking out. On the other side, we get some graffiti in the style here, which I believe just says boo, boo, like a ghost might say. And you know, very fitting. I'm doing this set that's going to release on Halloween Day, so that is you know, this feels very timely, very appropriate to me. So that's all good there. Pretty simple, straightforward build. We do have some doors here that are brick built doors. When this is on here, these cannot open all the way, so you can see that they are blocked by this. So in order to get access to whatever's in there, we have to pop this off. Inside, we can see nothing. There's nothing in there. And that's for, I think, a couple different reasons. It almost to me seemed like something was maybe trying to break out, or this was like a more advanced containment area where ghost or possessed minifigures or big baddies or whatever could be loaded into. And I'm not sure if that's entirely true. It may be partially true, and with a little imagination for play, it could absolutely be true. And then up top, we have this sort of ray gun ghost chapter ghost capture thing here. And again, this is very similar, same kind of JB color scheme. So this is maybe one of JB's inventions to kind of go about saving Newberry from all of the hauntings and stuff here. So it has that blue and that white kind of throughout there, as well as some kind of the pearl silver, some gray, and then some translucent purple, I believe, which is really nice. This does feel similar to me to something that was on El Fuego's stunt truck and on the Paranormal Interceptor bus set, which are a couple other hidden side sets. Some of the first ones I looked at. I don't think it's exactly the same, but it's close. Pretty straightforward. Use kind of these rim pieces like Speed Champion's wheel pieces. Those just get put on there. There's some little bit of studs on the side stuff and whatever in there. And then we put a bar element through and put a bunch of these disc pieces on there to kind of make it look like a ray gun thing. Add the inverted tile, the 1x3 that has the hole on the other side. So we put that there, and then we stud down these. And then we attach, you know, these little arm kind of things, which could be used to like widen the ray or the scope, but also maybe contain it. And they just kind of function as like some other extra details. This can swivel. We have the nice gold accent up here. So these swivel, and then this is theoretically able to be popped off. And what you can do, if one wanted, I believe, is to put this, whoopsies, I knocked off a piece, and now I'm going to have to take some of this apart probably. Let me see here. There we go. So I can pop that off. I think this is supposed to kind of maybe stay in there. It's just I was maybe a little too aggressive when I was pulling that off, but I think maybe the Technic pin is supposed to be there. It could be pulled out as well. Not a big deal, but I believe this can be, I think this can fit in here. I might be crazy. Okay, there we go. So that can be fit in there. Not a big deal. Again, this could be popped off and stored in there as well, or could be put somewhere like maybe in the door handle there to kind of make it easy to open and more difficult to lose that piece. So that fits there in there rather snug. So if we were sneaking up on some ghosts or whatever, maybe we want this concealed, and so then when we get to the destination, this can be deployed. A character can help kind of load that up, get that on there, and then there is a kind of a designated space sort of for a minifigure to stand here and operate this. It doesn't have any like lean or tilt. It just rotates on kind of one level, so you can't angle it up and down, which would have been really nice, but would have added maybe some extra bulk in there. But we can still kind of get this 360 degrees. So that is kind of this this train car. And again, because these are done in this way, these could be left off. You could build other things to put on there. You could switch them around. I mean, because there's only 2 of them, you don't even need to pop these off to switch them around. You could just ultimately kind of switch around the train cars, except for the back of this one doesn't have the same connections as this one. So I'm going to kind of get this all back together as best I can. I think the ball joint system works pretty well, but it can be a little bit challenging to get all the way in there. And then we have the train all back together. The only part that really transforms is the front, and then the other 2 are kind of maybe to wrangle in what's happening with the locomotive, the engine up at the front, and then of course the other transformation at the station. So let me get the rest of this back here, including the kind of train tracks here, and I'll put this back on, stud that down, something like that, and get this back on the tracks so we can get a look at everything in the box all together. And let me get these wheels all aligned here. It's usually pretty straightforward. And then, like I said, we can connect up at the end because there is one on the front. So now you have to use a little bit of force to remove that from there. So it does stay there for display or whatever else, even play for storage for whatever. That's a nice kind of thing there. And then this is what we have. We have 6 minifigures with the alternate heads. It's pretty good. The only ones with printed leg pieces are kind of the main characters that you get a lot, which sort of makes sense. I think for the train people, it would have been nice to see maybe pinstripe pants as well, or something else going on there. But I do really like these minifigures, and I think these torsos are actually, like, if they're specific to Hidden Side, I think there's part of that, but I also could see them being used kind of as generic train people, even though they have kind of the ID badges and the different little pins and the emblems on there. I still think that could work. And we have these train station, which is small, but it is there. It is part of the set, and I think like focusing on maybe instead of like just a building like a train station, we're focusing on mostly like the train here, and instead of just doing a train alone where maybe we add on one car, we have this sort of compromise. So we do get track pieces, we do get a kind of location build in here, and then we also get the train car while keeping this at a relatively low piece count, just under 700 pieces, and keeping the price of this kind of low. So we'll talk about that in a second. I'll show the extra pieces just before we get into that, because you do get some. All your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, your small pieces, the hilts, Technic pins, little translucent pieces in here, the lever, clip pieces, all your different 1x1s, extra of the print there as well. So good to get those. And this set is 698 pieces, and I paid $70 for this set. Now this set's from 2019, I believe. So 5 years ago at this point. It probably came out in October of 2019, I think, but I'm not 100% positive. And actually in 2019 it retailed for $80, I think, if the information I am looking at is correct. The retail price of this was $80, and I got this for $70. So for some of the hidden side stuff, I actually paid more than the retail price, just because I got them when they were retired. And in this case, I was able to get this for slightly under retail price, which feels great. I think, almost 700 pieces. Just too shy of 700 for $70 with 6 minifigures with the train track components, as well as the train wheel things underneath here, with as nice of a design as all this is. This was a phenomenal value to me. This was an instant pickup. I think I got a really, really good deal. Frankly, if this retailed for $80 in 2019, I don't know what the exact conversion would be over the last 5 years to compensate for inflation and Lego price increases and stuff like that. But $80 for this, if it was on the shelves today, I still would think is pretty darn good. I don't know how much these train track sections go for on their own, but I think it's, something. And for people that are really into Lego trains, as I understand it, they are really into Lego trains. And so there's always a need and demand for these kind of pieces. They're also bigger pieces. So they're, expensive to produce somewhat. I'm going to try to see if I can find them on a website where I used to buy Lego once in a while. So if I just look for, okay, these are that's the really old Lego train track. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm looking at, is this the 9-volt? Because these were used for powered things. I mean, if these are the ones that I'm thinking of, these train sections alone might go for almost $5. If you were to buy one of the Lego, they sometimes have packs of just track pieces, and yeah, are these the same piece? I don't know, because this is only $20, and you get looks like 8 of these straight pieces, a couple, maybe 4 curves, and then some things to do maybe a split, or I don't know what it's called when you transfer from one side to the other. So that, that might mean that they're more affordable than I think they are. I don't know. They kind of have flexible, and there is also a separate thing with switch tracks, which is $16 on the Lego website. That's really not that bad. I don't know if maybe these aren't the 9-volt ones, and I'm just being silly, because maybe the tracks themselves were actually powered. I forgive me, I am just not one of the Lego train type people that has a bunch of these things, and I haven't experienced a ton with it. Yeah, no, I think those are the ones. I think those are the ones that they are. I think these are the train track, plastic, RC trains. Oh, that's the one, not the... Am I going crazy? Yeah, not the 9-volt one, the RC train. No, that's... Is that right? Okay, yes, that is right. The RC train ones are much, much cheaper, much more affordable. Maybe 40 cents a piece or 50 cents a piece. Not as much as I thought. I don't know why I thought that, but hey, you know, I made a mistake. Please forgive me. But that said, a lot of Lego here. A lot of Lego for not a huge price. And I don't know, they have done some Lego trains, including like an Ideas one and a couple other like Lego trains in the City line and other stuff in the years since this. And they're expensive. If they're powered, they're extra expensive. But a lot of train things, when they come with the tracks, when they come in whatever else, they are pretty expensive. And this one feels somewhat good value here. I think, you know, it's not an entire train. It's not an entire track either. It's kind of just a section here, but I think that is okay, actually. You know, like some of the Hogwarts sets, various ones for the Hogwarts Express have been have used similar things. Some of those, or at least one of those, comes with these pieces. Different city sets have come with these ramp pieces, and this one. So it's actually, this ramp piece is only in like 4 sets, but I don't know if it's that valuable or anything like that. But or maybe there's other variants that work maybe the opposite way, and maybe there's more of those. I'm not 100% sure, but we do get a little bit of the building. We do get I think this is maybe considered like a full-sized, almost locomotive thing here. And then we get these shorter cars, but are nice for storytelling, nice for play. And the base of this still is a pretty strong Lego train. And I think the parts that are specific to Hidden Side could easily be changed. I mean, I think there's a way to change up, you know, and remove some of this functionality that gets rid of some of the possibility for like internal details. Certainly we could build different things to put on here that are not Hidden Side adjacent or explicitly Hidden Side, and they could just be cargo, shipping containers, all kinds of different stuff. And so there is like a base here that could be expanded upon. I think this is great. I think $70 is a great price. I think $80 is a pretty good price as well. If I'm looking at sealed and complete ones, which is what I bought, I think the market price is right around where I paid. I'm trying to find one that is in the US because that's where I'm located. It seems like there's one for $75, and that's not bad. I think this is a super solid pickup for $70, $75, maybe even $80. I think this is a good set, and I don't know if Lego would price this set at $80 in 2024 or going into 2025. It feels like it might be 90, 100, or something like that. And so to get it for quite a bit less than that feels really, really good. I definitely feel like I got my money's worth here. I think $70 is a really strong kind of value proposition, and this exceeded my expectations, and it also allowed me to have a really fun, really long, in-depth video for Halloween 2024, which is when this is going to come out. I'm happy I was able to look at this and share my passion and my affinity here, and also kind of celebrate a day that's a holiday that I'm, you know, as someone who's interested in like horror and spooky stuff and the paranormal as well as Lego, this is a time that I feel, you know, very excited to be able to kind of lump those interests together and express my passion and just get my thoughts out about them to anybody who might watch and might listen. So very, very cool. I loved this, and I'm hoping there's still a few more hidden side sets I haven't looked at yet, so I'm looking forward to taking a look at some of those in the future as well. And I think that is it, finally. So if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including probably more LEGO Hidden Side, and then tons of other LEGO sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count. I may even look at other LEGO trains, potentially if I or when I readjust my recording area, that would be more plausible. But it is something I'm interested in just to see, because obviously I'm very ignorant sort of to what the world of LEGO trains has to offer. But then just, tons of other sets. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming LEGO videos. Subscribing is a great way to help support the channel. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We'll do a giveaway or something for that milestone. I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet, but I'm, planning that. We're about 200 subs away. And so if you're not subbed, maybe consider subscribing. It helps a lot. And I mean, it means a great deal to me, so thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support this channel in another way, you can give money to the channel. You can do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. You can also check out the Patreon that is in the video description. I have a buy me a coffee link in the description. I'm going to start putting out like some affiliate links, maybe not to retired sets, but I have affiliate links for some gear that I use, cameras I use for recording, as well as some like computer parts and headphones and my microphone and different stuff. So if people are interested, I would earn a very small commission if you were to buy those items by using those links. So that might be something that people see more of, but just know that that's out there. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.